and it's inspiring because it's like, man, you know, one day I gotta be that type of guy, you know, to
stand on business.
Yeah, stand on business, like, you know, take care of his. So
all right. So when you first started like making records for Rod Wave and that, did you already know the business aspect of what you were doing, or was it just like, I love this, I'm just doing it, I'm gonna keep doing it?
Yeah, so I got my first placement when I was 20. It was an artist, he still raps too, his name's Young and Ace, but he was like the first like artist that was signed that like used one of my beats. So I got to go through the process of, you know, getting a contract from a label, getting paid from a label, them reaching out and everything. So I already knew how that worked once now these records happened. So
what was that learning curve like, or you was straight from jump?
Nah, so luckily I had a lawyer that was like really, I still to this day he's my lawyer, but he was really cool. His name's Carl Folks, and he's like kind of big in the music industry also.
They're both recording.
Yeah, they're both recording. They're on.
All right. 3, 2, 1. All right, so boom, welcome back to another episode of the Black Caliber Podcast. Today, we're excited to welcome a powerhouse in music production, as you can see behind us. Right, he's Ebon on the track, known for his unique sound and ability to bring out the best in almost every artist he works with. His creativity and passion from early days, finding his rhythm, producing tracks that resonate with audiences worldwide. His journey is a testament to perseverance and vision, and we'll dive into a story, explore the impact he's making and aiming to make, and get a glimpse into future projects. So let's get into it. Anything you want to say?
Nah, let's get into it. Happy to be here.
Just happy to be here. Why's my thing not working? The Wi-Fi. All right, so first, who is Ebon on the track?
Ebon on the track is a 23-year-old music producer. From Chester, Pennsylvania. I moved to Chichester, Pennsylvania when I was about 10. And I'm just a hard worker, man, in terms of, you know, perseverance, like you said. I'm just a visionary, you know, going into that a little deeper, just executing the plan that I have for myself, you know. I see myself as an entrepreneur, you know, getting placements and songs with artists that I wanted to work with and just figuring it out my own path. So, yeah, that's what Ebon on the track is.
No, okay. That's dope. So, what got you into music? Were you always into music? Was your family into music?
Yeah, so I was always very musical as a child. You know, 2 years old, 3 years old, I was always like beating on stuff around the house, making drumsticks out of anything. And my parents were just very observant. My mother, to be exact, she just would make sure that I had the tools to kind of nurture my gifts and whatnot. So 4 or 5 years old, she was giving me a drum set. You know, 9 years old, she gave me a computer, giving me softwares to play around with. So she just really nurtured it, and it worked out.
So you classically trained or no?
No, I'm not classically trained. I learned everything by ear. You know, I played the drum set just by ear. I started making beats just by ear. Yeah, until still to this day, I just go by ear. I just feel like if you know what sounds good and you develop the ability to illustrate that, you know, you can make it in music without, you know, being classically trained and whatnot.
So your mom was like the first person you feel like that was like pouring into you.
Yeah, my dad too.
Oh, yeah, your parents.
Yeah,
so what was your first software? What was the first thing you was making really making beats on? What was your first beat?
It was a program called Mixcraft, and I was like rapping on it and making my own beats at 9 years old. And at first, my mom, she got me like the trial version of it, and she was like, I was like, can you give me the whole thing? It was like $100. She was like, no, you need to learn how to use that first. And within like an hour, I was in a room like, I learned it. I'm ready. Like, I was just very like into it from early on. So
okay. So what was the first like beat or piece of music you made where you was like, oh, I'm kind of nice?
That probably didn't. I don't know. I was always pretty confident in it, you know, even if it wasn't nice. But like 9 years old, like, yeah, with the stuff I was making, I thought I was about to be the next Lil Wayne or something. Like I was confident in it for sure.
So did you want to be a rapper, or you knew you always wanted to be a producer?
Initially, I was doing both. So yeah, initially I wanted to like, you know, rap and produce. And then at about 14, that's when I was like, you know what, let me just focus on the production side.
Okay. So when do you feel like you started to evolve as a artist?
Evolving, I say about 19. Yeah, 19 is where I really started to find my rhythm in terms of like production, just because my influences were set. You know, I had my favorite artists that I like to listen to, and my sound just started coming together.
So who were some of those artists that were inspiring you?
I was big into Lil Durk, Rod Wave, Them. Really.
them?
Yeah, really. In terms of like developing my personal sound. But I just like music that makes me feel something, you know. So I do love R&B, like people like, you know, Neo and, you know, people that make real good heartfelt songs. Like that's what I'm into. So
okay. So even when you were younger, when you were younger, I don't think Rod Wave was.
Oh yeah, no. When I was younger,
when
it'd
you
probably
first
be like I was in the Akon heavy. I really like
I didn't
Akon a lot.
expect that.
Yeah, I like Akon. I like Lil Wayne a lot coming up. I liked my dad was always listening to 90s stuff, so like, you know, Tupac, Biggie, people from back then also. But yeah, I had a wide range of musical influences. I just think when I turned, you know, 19, that's when my sound was just kind of cultivated by what I was currently listening to at that time and what I loved the most. So
okay. So when you were 19, what were you like what were you working with? Were you going to studios? Were you going over friends' houses who had studios? Did you have your own like?
So I was at that time I think my mom had grabbed me a laptop and I was working off of that mainly. So from home, but I did meet you know, a friend that made me just kind of open my eyes up to what was possible. He was also doing music and he was a little further along. So seeing someone doing it put in me like if he can do it, I can do it too. So it made me lock in some more.
Okay. So everything's self-taught. Like, is this YouTube University?
YouTube University, yeah.
YouTube University. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's dope. So how did you get into being able to make beats for these artists like Lil Durk and Rod Wave and things like that? So what was that?
Really just leveraging my personal brand. So when I was 19, 20, I also started popping off on YouTube. So I was posting a lot of, you know, tutorials and helpful content for other music producers and whatnot. And I was able to build an audience. So once I built an audience, I leveraged that. I started posting more like professional content on my Instagram, you know, professional pictures and whatnot. So my network grew. I was able to reach out to people that were further along than me. They liked my music and they felt like they already knew me from watching my YouTube channel. So it was just easy to leverage that and get connections. And then through those connections, I was able to get my beats to, you know, the people behind us.
Okay. So, Bill, you still have that YouTube channel?
Yes.
You still be posting on it and everything? Mm-hmm. What's it called?
Ebon on the track.
Oh, it's just Ebon on the track.
Everything is Ebon on the track. So.
How'd you come up with that name? Just because that's your name?
Nah, when I was in high school, I want to say I was in about the 10th grade, and it was a dude that was older than me. He was like a senior or a junior. He was older than me, but we both was on the football team, and he was like an aspiring rapper at the time, and we would just be in practice and stuff, and I would tell him that, yo, like, I make beats. He was like, what, you make beats? Like, he couldn't believe it. He was like just really excited at the fact that I told him that. And then he was like, what's your social medias? And I was just like, I don't have any. Like, I didn't have no Instagram, no Twitter, nothing. He was like, give me your phone. And he gave me my phone, and he created me a Twitter account. And when he handed me the phone back, it was like, Ebon on the track. So I was just like, all right, I guess it's my name. Like, I just rock out with this. So, so since then.
I had a moment like that, too, when I was in Miami. They're like, yeah, let me follow your Instagram page. I'm like, yeah, I don't have an Instagram page. So I'm sitting there next to a big Instagram page. Yeah, here is my first follower. So yeah, I get that a lot. So that's how you ended up with the name. It's stuck. And then now you say you're starting to build your network. So then in that time, what was some of the like biggest challenges you were having?
Biggest challenge I was having. I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty seamless just because of the route that I took. You know, by building a loyal fan base on YouTube, it transferred over to Instagram. And a lot of the producer community is small. So a lot of people, like, if you're following me on YouTube and you follow me on Instagram and I go to someone that is maybe bigger than me to reach out to them, we already have a bunch of mutual followers because these people watch my YouTube. So you already trust me more just from the mutual followers that we have. So when I was reaching out to people to work and stuff, it was pretty seamless.
So who are some of your biggest inspirations, even now?
Production-wise or just like overall?
Both.
Production-wise, it's a producer named TNT that I really look at as like him. Like I look at him as a big influence. I like London on the track. I like Metro. Metro's cool. Southside is dope to me. It's a lot of producers. I could go on for a while. And then outside of music, I'd probably just say like my dad. I'd probably say he's like a big influence.
Because?
Just the type man he is. Like, he's just like a stand on business, like provide for my tribe type of guy. Like, make sure his kids, his wife cool. Like, he just stand on business. Like, you know. So I'll say him. Yeah. And it's inspiring because it's like, man, you know, one day I gotta be that type of guy, you know, to
stand on business.
Yeah, stand on business, like, you know, take care of his. So
all right. So when you first started like making records for Rod Wave and that, did you already know the business aspect of what you were doing, or was it just like, I love this, I'm just doing it, I'm gonna keep doing it?
yeah, so I got my first placement when I was 20. It was an artist. He still raps too. His name's Young and Ace, but he was like the first like artist that was signed that like used one of my beats. So I got to go through the process of, you know, getting a contract from a label, getting paid from a label, them reaching out and everything. So I already knew how that worked once now these records happened. So
what was that learning curve like, or you was straight from jump?
nah, so luckily I had a lawyer that was like really, I still to this day he's my lawyer, but he was really cool. His name's Carl Folks, and he's like kind of big in the music industry also. But he's from like the Camden, New Jersey area, it's like right across the bridge. And he was doing like podcasts on producer YouTube channels and whatnot. So he was giving a lot of game to up and coming people. So I just reached out to him one day, just asking him a few questions. And he was like, you're close to the Philly area? I was like, yeah. He's like, I'll be a lawyer. Like, we could rock out for like free of charge. So when that placement finally came, he was like, spearheading it. He made sure I was cool. He made sure my royalties was good. And still to this day, like, he does that. So
that's dope. Like for him to see what you was doing and bang with you enough to just like, all right.
Yeah. And that was before the placement even happened. Like, he was rocking with me, so he just believed in me a little bit. So
all right. So when you first got that first placement, like, what was it like? What did you feel like? Like, were you ecstatic, jumping off the walls? You seem like a chill guy. You probably was just like,
Nah, the first one I was ecstatic. I was running around the house like screaming. Like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, yo, like, I really did it. And I think my advance was only like $1,500, but like $1,500 off a beat. Like, I was like mind blown. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. So yeah, I was running around screaming for sure.
Did you up your price after that too?
Not initially. I didn't up it till like maybe like a year or two later when I had a few more placements. It's like, all right, I could ask for some more bread now.
So what are some of these placements? Because you feel everybody may not know what you're doing. Like, we got these vibes, but you've been in a lot more things, a lot more songs. So what are some of the other artists that you work with?
I've got some stuff with Shy Glizzy, Lil Durk, Rod Wave, of course, Young and Ace. It's gonna be hard to name. There's some upcoming guys. It's a dude from Philly named She-TS I work with a lot. Hot Boy, if you know who that is, Lil TJ. That one was pretty recent. It didn't drop officially, but I still got the snippet and whatnot, so I was hyped about that one. I'm trying to think of some more. That's all I can think. K Camp too. I got some stuff with him that's actually released. So
all right, that's dope.
Yeah.
So what was some of your what's your favorite song that you produced or made a beat for?
I'll say the K Camp one. I like that one a lot. It's called Forgiveness. It was on, I think, his project before last. It was the intro on there, so I was hyped about that one.
So you were the intro?
Yeah, it was the intro.
All right, yeah. So I'm gonna go listen to it too on my walk back to class.
For sure.
So what is your typical day in the studio? Like, when you're working or you making a beat, like, what's your process look like? Unless that's sacred.
Nah, it's not sacred. I usually start off with melodies. A lot of the things that I've done have been from my melodies. So just starting off with chord progressions, I feel like if a chord progression is really good, then an artist can just gravitate towards that. So I'm big on melodies. And if I'm not making something from scratch, I usually use ideas that other producers send me and, collaborate from there. But it all starts with melodies for me, though. I got to be inspired just from the pianos or the guitars and whatnot. So
you said, things other producers send you. So other producers may send you, a beat or something, or?
They will send me melodies. So maybe they'll play something out or play the guitar and then just send me that idea, and then I'll finish it from there.
Oh, that's dope. I'm not in the industry. I'm sitting here learning, I didn't know they did. I figured if I'm playing it, I'm going to keep it to myself. I might.
I feel you.
Yeah. So now you started working with these bigger artists. Have you been on tour with them or things like that, or you just send them the beat?
Yeah, right at the moment it's just kind of to send them the beat, get the label kind of reaches out and whatnot. So direct contact to the artist is something I'm just starting to get into, and I find that it's easier to do that with smaller artists that are signed. So maybe these artists that might have millions, it might be harder to create a personal relationship with them. But it could be an artist that's signed to a label that might only have like 100,000 followers, and it's more open to like, hey, come to the studio, hey, like come with us. So I'm just now getting into that.
Okay,
that
so it's
more
not
personable aspect.
So it's not a lot of times where like you in the studio and they making a song right there while you doing it.
Not with the huge artists for me. So with the smaller dudes though, yes, that is something that's beginning to start. And I like that too. It's like I am a very like low key person though, so I don't mind being at the crib, sending a beat pack, and just seamless, like not being so hands on. So I just like being out the way. So
all right. So do you feel like what does your personal growth look like as your work growth and things like that have gone up? Do you feel like you've changed, better word, or like anything like that? You just feel like, nah, I'm literally the same dude.
Nah, it's a lot that goes along with it, man. I feel like entrepreneurship, period, it's a lot of pressure on you to, you got to keep up with yourself. It's no one on top of me telling me I got to make beats every day or I got to post videos. Like, it's no one, I got to do it myself and stay self-motivated. So I'm big on self-development, actually. Like, I read a lot, I listen to a lot of audiobooks. The content I consume in terms of influencers, they're always like very positive and just speaking life into me. Because, yeah, like you said, bro, it's a constant. As I grow, I have to grow internally as well as I grow professionally. So yeah, I'm always trying to build myself up as well. There's definitely some habits and things I've picked up now that I might not have done back then, or just matured. I'd say money management, taxes, like stuff that I wouldn't have thought about in the past. Just being on top of myself.
So what type of books have you been reading, or like what type of books are you really into?
I like self-development books, so stuff like Atomic Habits. My favorite one is like Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. I think that's like a great one. I think everyone should read that.
I read Think and Go Rich. I haven't seen that.
Bro, Outwitting the Devil is a way better read than Think and Grow Rich, personally.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So why is that?
I think number one, it's an easier read. Like it's way like straight to the point rather than Think and Grow Rich. Like Think and Grow Rich has a bunch of like other stories and like Outwitting the Devil is like direct. And I like the approach of it because it's kind of like a movie. Like he's literally like interviewing the devil. Like how do you get people to drift off and go down the wrong paths? And he's literally telling you, like it's crazy. It's definitely worth it. A read.
Okay. So with all the things you're doing now, where do you see yourself at the next 2 years, 3 years?
I see myself just building some more, having some more big records. I also I'm a coach, so I help other music producers build up and build themselves up, and that's something that I'm really promoting and pushing right now. Just because of all the things I just told you and the way I've developed myself, it's like, why not help the next generation of younger producers? Just understand that it's certain steps you could take that can get you to where you want to be, and you don't got to waste time trying to figure that out on your own. So I really try to help other producers with that. I got about 10 students right now, but I could see that growing to like 1,000 one day. So, anybody watching, you could reach out to me for that, and we can get you started. But yeah, so that business growing, the more records. I'm also trying to get into real estate as well very soon. So that's something I want to take the music stuff and go into.
All right, that's dope. It's also like you're well spoken, but you're also concise. So it's like, all right, I'm listening to you. I'm like, I gotta think of this next question quick because he to the point.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. So that's really all of it. Last question on here. So how do you balance creativity and your business aspects together when it comes to this?
Creativity. I say it's just a matter of doing what I love. And number one, two, my parents are entrepreneurs, so I come from that. So
what do they do?
They're my dad owns a construction business and they're landlords, so they own like a lot of real estate and whatnot. So just seeing them day to day, it shows me just a blueprint for how my life should be. It shouldn't feel like I have a job. I just feel like everyone should get paid for being themselves. I naturally be making beats. I naturally make beats a lot. So me monetizing that is just putting the creative side with the business side. I also teach in school districts too, like music production and entrepreneurship. So just giving back to the youth, same thing though, just taking my creative side and putting it towards a business. Just giving back to the community. And overall it's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, sometimes you want to focus more so on the creative side, and then you lack on the business side, and that's the problem I see with a lot of producers that might not make it. You know, they focus so much on making great beats, but they don't focus on, you need to post YouTube videos, you need to be making ads, you need to be, you know, just marketing yourself the right way. So I take pride in the business side and the creative side, and I love both of it, really, both of them. So,
all right. And is there any advice that you would want to give to anybody who's watching right now? Let's say they're an aspiring producer.
If you're an aspiring producer right now, I would say you got to reach out to me to get involved in my coaching program. That's going to speed up your progress. That's going to speed up everything that, you know, you're aspiring to do. So just reach out to me, and, you know, we could work something out. We'll assess where you are, and we'll go from there. So that's what I would say to any aspiring producers watching.
All right. And you got any advice for just anybody who may be watching?
Anybody that, I say you got to do what you like to do. Like, you don't want to be a person that, you know, wakes up every day and hates their job, or wake up every day and just like, I got to do this today. You know, you got to figure out what you love and just go in on it. I know circumstances can be difficult to, you know, maybe obtain that being a full-time thing instantly, but just got to, like, try. I'm telling you, it's the most rewarding and fulfilling thing that you could ever do. So.
All right. And with that, can I just get you to say, this is the Black Caliber Podcast?
You want me to look at the camera when I say that?
Yeah, you can look at the camera.
This is a Black Caliber Podcast.
All right, distinction at its finest.
Cool.
Right. Yo, that's hard. You saw the camera already? Like, look at this. Little blooper, like, he's like that. All right, you too.
Cool.
I can stop it, but
You can stop it.